Hey everyone, and welcome to the second part of my cybersecurity awareness chatbot tutorial. But before we begin, let us refresh our minds on what had occurred in part 1. As you can see in the chatbot POE, we contain three distinctive classes. The chatbot.cs class, which contained majority of the code and its methods. The program.cs class, which uses the start method to start the bot. The user class, which basically just asks for the user's name, as well as the alice_chat.wav. Now let us take a closer look on what had occurred in part 1 in the chatbot.cs class. We begin with the start method, which basically calls all of the other methods and starts the bot. Then we move on to the show ASCII logo method, which displays this text in big and bold called Cybersecurity Awareness Bot. Then we move on to the play voice greeting method, which basically uses an audio instead of sound player, as sound player, well, let's just say it wasn't very sounding. Well, that was an unfunny joke, but let's move on. It uses and it plays the audio Alice chat web. Now let us move on to the display text greeting method, which displays this text and greets the user. Then we move on to the handle users questions method, which uses a dictionary instead of a switch case, as a switch case was switched to a dictionary. Now that's a funny joke. However, let's move on from jokes. The dictionary is called keyword responses. Now we move on to part 2. As I mentioned, we changed it to dictionary. We go to the first feature that was added, which was keyword recognition. So instead of saying a long sentence, we can now recognize cybersecurity related topics with one word. Let's say, for example, password. Now the bot will display information about password. There's also phishing, safe browsing, scams, privacy, and you get the gist. And as you can see next to the keyword, we have new list string, which moves me to the second feature that was added, which was the random responses. So let's say, for example, you say scams. Sorry for that message. So in scams, it will display be wary of unwanted messages or propositions. Or let's say it chooses something else, maybe like contact the business directly to confirm requests. Or it could say something else, like always verify the authenticity. You get the gist about that. The next thing that we've added, which was sentiment detection. Now the bot is able to detect the user's emotions on a certain topic. Let's say, for example, the user is worried. What can the user be worried about? Let's say safe browsing. So if the user is worried about safe browsing, the bot will choose an appropriate response to help soothe the user's worrying about a certain topic. So as I said, worried about safe browsing. So now the bot will reply, it's completely understandable to feel worried about this topic, and here is some information that can help. But let's say I'm frustrated, and I'm frustrated with scams. So the bot will reply with, I'm sorry you're frustrated. Let's work through this together. And here is some information that could cure your frustration. But let's say, what if the user is curious? Maybe the user could be curious about password. So the bot will reply with, curiosity is great. Let's explore this topic further, and here is some information that could help. The next thing that we have added was conversation flow. To make the conversation more natural with the bot, and after it provides a random tip, we could ask certain keywords to explain more information about that topic. For example, let's say the topic we chose was scams. There's a few keywords that can be used to tell us more information about scams. Let's say we say more. Then the bot will display all information in scams. There's also details, confused, and explain. Now, let us move on into the next part or to the next feature that we have added to the bot, which was memory and recall. The bot is now able to store data in its memory and recall it later on. Let's say, for example, we say we are interested in scams. Now, this is stored in favorite topic. And the favorite topic can display later on by saying, remind me of what I was interested in. After we tell the bot to remind us, it'll say, you mentioned earlier that this was your favorite topic. Would you like tips on it? If said yes, then it'll provide more information about the topic. However, if say no, then the bot will say, no problem, let me know if you'd like to learn later on. We also have error handling in case the user does not enter any information that they have, any cybersecurity related topic that's their favorite. We also have, we are also able to see what happens if the user enters a favorite topic that the bot does not have information on, which the bot will reply with, sorry, I don't have details about this topic, but I'll try and learn more soon. Here's a bit of what's going to happen in the future. It's probably not going to learn it soon. Anyways, let's run the bot and see how everything actually works. As you remember from part 1, the first thing the bot does is ask for the user to enter their name. Now I'm going to enter the name SpongeBob.
Welcome, fellow user. I'm your cybersecurity awareness bot.
As you can see, the Alice chat web follows straight after entering the user's name. Now let's ask something about the bot. Let's start with keyword recognition. I want to know about phishing. As you can see, a random tip is chosen. But just to make sure of this, let's ask phishing again. As you can see, another tip is chosen. Now I want to ask the bot to tell us more information about phishing. So let's say, tell us more. Now the bot will display all of the information regarding phishing. This is going to take some time. Let's move on. Remember earlier I mentioned sentiment detection. So let's just say I am worried about scams, which I am worried about scams because every person falls prey to scams. Trust me, I have also been there. I remember the exact scam that I fell prey to. As you can see, the bot will soothe us about scams and provide a message that is appropriate. But now I want to ask the bot and tell it my favorite topic. So let's just say I'm interested in password. Now the bot will remember that I'm interested in password and say that it's a crucial part of staying safe online. But now we don't want to straight away and ask the bot that our interested topic. So let us follow up by asking a few other questions that we can ask the bot, like what can I ask? As we see, we are provided this response. Now let's ask the bot for a joke. The same joke and it doesn't land twice. So now let's ask the bot about another topic such as, let's say for example, we want to know about privacy. Here's all the information, or sorry, here's a random tip chosen for privacy. But now let's say we want to know more about privacy. Tell me more. This is everything that it knows about privacy. But now, if you remember earlier that we told the bot what we were interested in, so let's ask the bot to remind us. Remind me of my favorite topic. Now the bot remembers that we were interested in password. Would you like more tips in it? For now, to show error handling, we're going to say no. Then the bot would say, no problem, let me know if you'd like to learn more later. Now let's tell the bot to remind us, but actually say yes. Continuing on, let's tell the bot that we want tips on the topic we're interested in. So let's say yes. As you can see, the bot will provide all its information stored about password. So as you can see, everything in part 2 runs the way it's supposed to be. But let's show some more stuff just to show how hard I worked on this bot. So let's say no information was entered. Input cannot be empty, please try again. But remember earlier I also said, what if we say that we're interested in something else? So let's say I'm interested in soccer. So now the bot will remember that I'm interested in soccer. But as we know, soccer is not anything to do with cybersecurity related issues. But with the way VAR is, it should be a cybersecurity related issue. Now let's tell us more about this. So let's say remind me. So if I say yes to chips, well, it does not have the detailed tips about soccer. But as a Man United fan, I definitely don't want to know anything about soccer. But anyways, thank you for watching this video.